Good morning. This week's weekly tip focuses on the value you add to your sellers that you can easily communicate now with an enhancement to the previously called Sellers Report, and it is now called Seller Insights. So let's walk through, as an example, what the output looks like, and I'll show you how to customize it and set it up once. And you can set the schedule as to how frequently you want to touch your sellers, and it shows a lot of things. So let's walk through it. I'm using Kristen Shamish's example here from our Society Hill office on her 5004 Walnut Street listing. So you can set this up on a weekly cadence, bi-weekly cadence, etc. It kind of features a little bit of the home. Since we last spoke, all of the marketing you're doing, sometimes sellers say, what are you doing for me? What did you do this week? Or on some level of cadence, it shows things that the company does automatically. If you've hosted an open house, it gets pulled in. Soon, Chalk Digital, the 1 week ad information will get pulled in. But what if you sent out a mailer promoting your listing, or you did a mass email to your database? We don't know that. Your seller doesn't know that. So you could add this under the task manager. So this can go every few days, whatever you decide, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to your seller. So it shows listing traffic from last week, and it shows on all the portals, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, and our corporate website. It combines all of that. And I'll show you what it looks like when you kind of look at the whole report. Properties at a glance, what's happening around that listing that your listing may be competing with, keeps them informed. So that's the report that goes in an email. And when the seller clicks on the See Seller Insights report, it takes them to the full-blown version on the website and kind of shows them with your branding. It shows them all of the activities. As you can see, it's capturing everything that is automatically submitted either in the MLS or when the listing went live. But I'll walk you through how to set this up. Your property for sale, a little bit about that. Listing traffic summary, we talked about that. Weekly over the last month since it was listed, and I specifically picked a listing that's been on the market for a little bit so I can show you aggregate all of that stuff that happens around. Search results is when people search for a certain area. This was one of the many listings that showed up in search results. Listing details is when they actually looked at the property page. And it shows a graph of that. And it shows the sources it's pulling from. Properties at a glance. This is a great way for you to show what else is happening around that property. That I'm going to show you how to customize this. This obviously hasn't been customized yet. What's happening in the market around that property. And so all of that goes to your client every cadence you decide on, whatever cadence that you want to be. So that's what the output is. So let's kind of take a look at how to set this up. All right, so you go into ACE, you go under your dashboard, click on listings, and I'm going to pick that listing right there. You can do it for you need to do it only once per listing. And so you got to set it up properly, and it goes, and you're good. So the first thing you really need to do before you even do that is make sure your seller contact is added under the contact list. Okay, they need to be a contact in your ACE CRM. Just name, email is all you need, which I have added here for test purposes for this listing for Kristen. So I'm going to go to Seller Insights on this property. And it'll give me, there you go, see that? I've added it. So if that was not the case, I would just do that and basically just type in the name, there we go. And I'm selecting the email here, but if you notice, if I pick the name here, it's the same thing, but obviously it's going to pull in the first name, hi first name, and you'll see what I mean in a second here. So subject, Seller Insights for 5004 Walnut Street, since we last spoke, and you can customize this message. Frequency, let's talk about that. Frequency, every week, every 2 weeks, unless you set the client up here, nothing's going. So you want to just pick this cadence here. Depending on how long the listing is on the market, you can obviously set it up for weekly and then kind of adjust it if you need to, but I left it as a week. And here's a good one. Stop the report when listing is pended or sold. And I click sold. If I click send email immediately, it would do it, hit save, and then go on a weekly schedule after that. Let's look on the right here. If you don't set up nearby properties, it's going to go to radius and a half a mile radius. Now, this could be okay in some cases, but this could be a problem in some cases. In what way? What if the property is $1 million property and the radius gets listings that are 200,000, 400,000, different price ranges? So to really dial it in, you want to eventually learn how to do Safe Search. And I've built a Safe Search. It's very simple to build a Safe Search. The article, the how-to article that is going to go with this video, it's right in my email at the bottom, how to set up Seller Insights and Safe Search, has the detail on how to set up a Safe Search. I set one up for 5,000 Walnut, and if you scroll up, it's basically a listing at 359. So I picked price range 300 to 400, tightened the bats, picked at the type of property, so it doesn't include nearby properties that may not be as relevant to the seller. So I did that. So I picked the Safe Search, and let's kind of walk through this. So it's going to say, hi, Rajiv, and it's Kristen's branding. Put any information here, and all of the data is just automatically done now. I mean, at that point, it's just going to pull the 8 properties it's pulling here. You'll see the price range. I've kind of tightened it. It's not going to show you anything between under 300 or over 400. And you can customize that as you build your Safe Search, obviously. And this just goes to the client as a report. Now, what if you did a mailer? Last thing, what if you did a mailer, or you did a mass email to your database, or some other activity that is really not captured in this? What if you did a digital advertising for this listing? Anything that's not captured here automatically, you can go under Task Manager and simply add that activity, and the next week when the report goes, it would just send it automatically. So you would simply go here and click Add Task and Task Description, and you can confirm it, date task was completed, and hit Submit, and it would appear in the task list back in the Seller Insights report. So if you do something out of the ordinary to promote it, just add it here and it'll go in the next report that that is sent with the date, activity, etc. And it's a great way to wow your sellers with all of the activity that's happening as the listing progresses before it gets pended and sold. Hope that helps. Look for the email, my email, where I include this video. There's also a how-to for step-by-step on all things Sellers Insights. So wow your sellers with Seller Insights in a set it and forget it fashion with all things that are happening around this listing. Hope that helps. Great week, everybody.